Hello guys, this is Petar K, and now I'm gonna show you how to make an unoxidized setup. So here you can see some tools which are needed to do so. I have some drill bit which is 2 millimeters wide. There is the toothpick, small, around 1 millimeter syringe, and of course some mesh which is 50 millimeters wide, around 20 to 25 millimeters long. Of course there is, which I'm using, secas or nickel chrome wire. It's 0.25 millimeters. So let's begin with the coil. It goes first before mesh rolling and preparation. To make a coil, I will use this 2 millimeters wide drill bit. Anyway, it doesn't matter is it drill bit or a needle or some nail. It has to be 2 millimeters wide. And I will place this wire like this and hold it with finger like this. Then I will roll it around this drill bit for some 7 loops, which I found the best performing on this mode. So here are 4, 5, 6, 7. It will give me around 1 ohm resistance. And the important thing when doing this is to align all those loops perfectly well. So actually the most important thing about this entire method is to make it aligned and even, all the parts. So it should looks like this, and now I have to place it and fasten it to the node. So this is the vapor, and before I should put this coil inside, I want you to know that you have to, or you can break this part up on the minus pole. So if the coil is like this one, will be around 3 or 4 millimeters space between this end and this one has to be 4 millimeters, so it will not make those ends or tails of the coil like this or like that. They will be parallel. And one more thing about this mode particularly is to avoid these movements while a drill bit is inside this very fragile, not that very fragile, but it's fragile, this ceramic part, so don't do this. Okay, now the coil is on a drill bit and this longer part goes here. And now first I have to fasten the bottom one, this lower post. Usually I'm doing it with a pair of pliers like this one, which have that little end, and it's good to pull out this drill bit so not to damage that ceramic. This is actually fastened. That's it. Now I'm gonna little bit stretch the coil like this. It looks like metal spring, and then I'm gonna attach it to this longer post between those washers, of course. Just a second. Here it is. Now I'm gonna fasten that part. And before I do that, it's good to shape this coil so the loops are even and parallel one to another, just like this. And it's preferable to make even space between those loops. This coil is really big, so it must weigh really well. On the other side, of course, here are 6 loops and here are 7. So that's it. Now I'm gonna fasten this one, but when I do that, I want you to know that you can fasten it by turning and fastening both those nuts. Don't ever touch this one and the bottom one, this one, because they also hold this tank in place. So, and this one on the top is actually to improve the contact with the metal spring or the switch. So if I fasten this one, that will pull this end of wire just a little bit forward. So I will fasten back this one to align it again, just like this. And now it's fastened. That's it. One more thing, the coil has to be pointed parallel, like this, horizontally and vertically. One more adjustment of those loops. I think they look perfect now, and I will pull out the drill bit. But before that, one more tip. It's good to bring it a little bit closer to this plus electrode, just like this. Also, it's good to check, is it pointed directly to the hole, like this. This one is okay, and that's it. Now, after I just a second. Before I put the battery inside and glow it a little bit, I want you to know that it's not good to use some full batteries, fully charged batteries. And when I glow it, I will do it just twice or 3 times top, because if I glow it with some fully charged battery, and if I glow it too hot, it will actually reduce the performances, because amperage in this coil will be increased, so that will be not good for the performances. And also that's not the best way to avoid those contacts and shorts. It's the best way to make a coil, to make it even, perfectly shaped, and not to increase its amperage, actually ohms, sorry. Now I'm gonna use it doesn't matter what, I can use this top cap or some other metal just to make a contour between those. Now I'm gonna glow it just a little bit. I quit when it starts to glow more, then I will repeat it 2 more times. And I'm doing this to stiffen this coil, so now it will hardly be changed in shape, so it will keep this shape. As you can see, I can do these shakes and it will not change its shape. So that's it about the coil. Now I'm gonna roll this mesh. It's 400 mesh. I don't remember if I said it's 50 millimeters wide and around 20 millimeters long. And I will use this around 1 millimeter, but probably less than millimeter syringe. So just like this, pull it and unroll it. Then when it gets like this, now I'm gonna roll it all the way very tightly, so it will leave some space in the center, a so-called chimney, just like this. And now it is around 1.5 millimeters, which is too thin for the coil, and this mesh could just fall inside tank, which could be a problem. Now I'm gonna see how wide it is. Actually it fits really well, but it has to be widened just a little bit. To do so, I will use this toothpick and I'm gonna place it in the center and just make it a little bit wider, just like this. Now it's too wide, but when I pull out this toothpick, then it goes back. I will try it now. But the good thing is that this mesh could be reused many times and it could be cleaned. So a little bit effort now, but later I will use it. And that's it. Now it's not too loosey and it's not too tight. It's actually perfect. That's it. But before I finish with this setup, I have to burn this one, and I'm doing that only to clean it, not to oxidize it. Anyway, it will not make any oxidation, so I will just burn it with a lighter. It's the best to use those jet lighters. Mine is broken, so I have to use this one, which is very weak, but it will do the trick. Yeah, now I'm feeling some really bad smells, mostly from my fingers, and I think just hot water will not be enough to clean it. So that's basically it about this coil. It's completely even, aligned, perfectly shaped, and when I do that, it must work really good.